progressives some progressives may need a bit of a wake-up call. And I'm not talking about the upcoming David Pakman Show coffee blend called Progressive Wake-Up Call, which I'll talk to you more about in a few days. I'm talking about how to manage the Trump presidency. I want to give you an analogy. During one of the presidential debates, Donald Trump sort of implied or seemed to believe that if he just appoints anti-abortion Supreme Court justices, that Roe v. Wade gets automatically overturned, right? He was asked about that and he said, oh yeah, it's going to automatically happen when I appoint anti-choice Supreme Court justices. And afterwards, commentators and analysts had to explain what's obvious to a lot of people, which is things in our country don't happen automatically, right? We have a framework for things to happen, to sort of use a crude colloquial term. But for things to happen, certain actions need to be taken. Roe v. Wade doesn't get overturned merely because justices or a majority of justices become anti-choice. You need a case to make it to the Supreme Court, which the Supreme Court agrees to hear. You have a process, right? Along the same lines, I'm worried about the attitude that some progressives are taking that the Constitution and regular fact-checking on the internet and by media are going to stop Trump from doing insane stuff during his presidency. Here's an example that is a very specific and current example. We've talked about the emoluments clause of the Constitution and Donald Trump's conflicts of interest. This is a clause which says that the president cannot receive gifts of monetary value from foreign nations. I'm paraphrasing now. We've read it in specifically a few times. And we've talked about how Trump's hotels, including foreign diplomats who have said, oh, when I come to D.C., I'll stay in Trump's hotel because if I stay at his competition's hotel, that might anger him and I might ingratiate myself with him by staying at the hotel. And we've gone into significant detail about how if Donald Trump doesn't truly resolve these conflicts of interest by January 20th, that he would be in violation of the Constitution. We could be 100% correct that Trump would be in violation of the Constitution's emoluments clause. But so what? That doesn't trigger any action automatically. It does not do anything. You would need the political will to prosecute Trump. And this is going to depend mostly on Republicans. So I know that there are many progressive friends who are saying the second Trump gets in and he does A, B, or C, which violates D, E, or F provision of this or that, it's over for Trump. These things don't happen automatically. This is a document in the Constitution, which is there as a framework, but it doesn't have this automatic capacity to make things happen or punish people. And it's going to really depend on Republicans to hold him to it. And we don't know that they're going to.
Yes, and this whole thing's a very slow-moving process, probably not going to be initiated by the Republicans. No. But I think Donald Trump has just developed this hubris over the past couple of years where he's been able to get away with whatever he wants, with the offensive comments that he's made, with the sexual assault allegations, and he was still elected president.
Yeah.
So, I think he's going to continue. He even said that the president can't have a conflict of interest,
right?
Even just a month ago.
That is almost like when, I can't believe I'm blanking, but I think it was Richard Nixon who famously said,
yes,
if the president does it, it's not illegal.
Correct.
Because right. The president did it, no matter what it is. Donald Trump is sort of parroting or mirroring one of the most horrific statements that we've seen made with regard to presidential power and separation of powers and the law and judicial independence in the United States by Richard Nixon. And it's like the Republicans don't even care. So the message to progressives, and I'm mostly speaking to you in this particular clip, although believe me, the right wingers are going to comment about what I'm saying here, is that the Constitution alone is not going to protect us from Donald Trump. Additionally, the fact-checking movement has grown in size. It's grown in aggressiveness during Trump's candidacy and since Donald Trump's win. That's great. Much of corporate media won't do the fact checking. It needs to be done on the internet, social media, independent media. But we have to remember that sitting back and assuming that presenting Trumpists with facts, even facts that expose unconstitutional or bad actions by Trump, it's not in and of itself going to do anything. If you look at the many examples we have from around the world, you get these authoritarian strongman types like Donald Trump, and they will preemptively prime people to just not believe what you hear on the internet or on independent media or on media, whatever media is bad at the moment. And Trump did this really well. He started telling his supporters, the media lies, they're mostly bad people. Some of them are good, but they're mostly bad people. And then when media would say something that went against what Trump was parroting at rallies, many of his supporters were already ready to say, no, no, no. I believe Trump, not media. So again, it's going to require more than just fact checking and sharing memes on Facebook. We're trying to set up our part, right? We have this campaign at davidpakman.com/donate. The idea being not only to grow the David Pakman Show further, but really to create a position called a progressive engagement coordinator that's going to work very proactively, not only with our audience, right? Not only with you, the listeners and viewers, but also with other independent progressive shows to coordinate our actions. That's going to be necessary, Pat. For people who are doing the social media activism, awesome, right? The more people that see whatever it is that you're trying to communicate through fact checking on social media, that's great. But we need to understand that it's going to take more to stop Donald Trump.
Yeah, you have to hope that the truth will one day win over. And I think some of the Trumpists will start to turn away from him at some point.
You think so?
Eventually, yeah.
I hope you're right. I know that, again, it's Trump who said it. He could shoot people on Fifth Avenue, and all of his supporters wouldn't care. And we've seen that that is very, very significantly true. Warby Parker is offering a free 5-day home try-on to give you the opportunity to check out their glasses. I personally wear Warby Parker glasses when I'm not wearing my contact lenses. And I also started with one of these free at-home try-ons of 5 pairs of glasses. You can get your free home try-on and support the David Pakman Show at warbyparkertrial.com/TDPS. I don't really like going into glasses stores and trying on glasses while the salesperson sort of hovers over me. And I like more than 30 seconds to actually figure out whether I like the glasses. So with the Warby Parker home try-on, I was able to pick 5 pairs that I liked, put them on in the comfort of my own home, pick the one I like the most, and then Warby Parker put my prescription lenses in there for me. A lot of people don't know that the eyeglass industry is controlled by just a few big corporations that keep prices very high, like $300 for prescription glasses high, which is just insane. Warby Parker glasses start at $95. That's what mine cost. And for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need. You can try 5 pairs and see what you like. Check out the at-home trial and support our show by going to warbyparker.com/TDPS. It costs nothing.